I wanted to get these for so long, and I finally got them. This right here is a GTR RHD Japan sticker from Right Hand Drive Japan. Obviously, they gave me two, so shout out to Right Hand Drive Japan. And these are a limited edition, I believe. So what I ended up getting from them are some Garage Active carbon fiber mirrors. Let me go ahead and show you guys. These things are actually a lot smaller than they look in pictures, and I'm kind of scared to put them on now because they might look a little too small on the Skyline. But I guess we'll see once they're on the car. They look, I'm surprised, they look pretty good. We'll go through them a little bit better in a bit. But what I have here are some triangular shape mounting brackets for the mirrors themselves. And this is also made out of carbon fiber. The quality just feels great. And one thing I did want to say is the camera doesn't capture how perfect this carbon fiber looks. If you would imagine perfect carbon fiber, this is perfect carbon fiber. Like the tone of the carbon, the glossiness, I guess you could say. Camera and my words do no justice for how good these mirrors look and well constructed, and I see now why they charge the price that they do. Here we have the hardware, and I got a little confused at first because this does not come with instructions, and there was many different size bolts in here. Well, 3 to be exact, 3 different type of bolts. So I had to figure everything out, and I managed to do so. So the kit comes with 2 10mm bolts, 2 smaller screws, 1 larger screw for both sides, and I'm going to show you the placement for them. So the mirror comes with 3 holes to mount to the actual plate. We're only going to utilize 2 of them for now, and then the third one once we mount the mirror onto the car itself. So we're going to grab one of the smaller screws, and we're going to place it up in this hole right here at the very top and screw it on. We then will grab the other small screw and put it on the hole below, just like that, just right there in that hole. We're gonna go ahead and screw that on as well. Now we just screw them on nice and tight, and then they're ready to go on the vehicle. But before we do so, we do have to take the door panel apart in order to do that. Now to remove the door panel, we have 2 screws, 1 and 2 right here. We have another one in here, 1 in here, and I believe 1 right here. So first you want to start off by popping this plastic clip off. I believe there's a 10mm bolt in there, which mine is missing. And we pop this tab right here, and we have a screw in there, a Phillips screw I should say. We need to unscrew that, and we need to pop these tabs off and unscrew these screws right here. One of them is broken, as you guys saw. There's also 3 bolts below the door panel. Pop this one off right here. We got to be really careful because these tend to be brittle and break. As I mentioned earlier that there would be a bolt there, but there wasn't. My mistake. So now we just pop this piece off right here. We pull the plastic back to get to the connection. We disconnect the mirror. And the thing that sucks about this is that we're gonna lose the powered mirrors because the Garage Active mirrors aren't powered. So that kind of sucks, but sometimes we just gotta sacrifice stuff just to make these vehicles look good. But I am keeping the OEM mirrors. So now we just unscrew these 3 10mm bolts that are up top here. We will not be using the longer screw to go into the bottom left hole, which goes directly onto the mirror and not to the triangular bracket itself. So now we grab one of our 10mm bolts, which is going to go on one of the last 2 holes for the bracket itself. And finally, the last 10mm bolt goes on the bottom right, which would be the last hole. Alright, as you guys can see here, the Garage Active mirrors are a lot smaller than the OEM mirrors, and by a lot, I should say. So the OEM mirrors, as you can see, is a lot larger than the Garage Active mirror, and it's super bigger. It's crazy. I can't wait to get this on the car and see how it actually looks compared to the OEM mirror. This one's actually really heavy. The Garage Active mirror is really light, super light actually. I'm just worried about the visibility of the mirror. I'm not 100% sure how that's going to work out, but hopefully it works out well. And yeah, these things are like crazy light. It's crazy.
I gotta tell you, these mirrors look freaking sick. At first, I kind of felt like weirded out and really didn't like how they looked because the OEM ones are a lot bigger than this. So I was kind of like, something looks off, something looks weird. Maybe because the mirrors were too small, and maybe because I was too close to the garage, I guess you could say, and in the shade, and I didn't really see the carbon pop, etc. But once I brought it out into the light, the carbon really popped. So this NRG seat here, I will explain in a different video, and that video is when I get the seats that I really want coming in, and they should be in within the next week. And once I have them, I'll go ahead and make the other video on how to install them, how to add the brackets, and I think I'll make like 2 or 3 different videos of the whole process. And then within that, I'll explain why I have these NRG seats on the Skyline right now, but they are temporary, so no worries. Back to the mirrors. I'm gonna show you guys right now what the mirrors look like in the sun, but before I do so, I want to show you guys the visibility of the mirrors. And the visibility is, it's not as good as the OEM, but then it is. It's hard to explain. I'm gonna show you guys the mirrors and try to make you guys see what I see in the mirrors, if that makes any sense. The only thing that does suck and I am bummed about is how I explained earlier in the video, is that they're not electric and I can't move them around, because sometimes when I park, I like to move them around when I park next to a curb. That way I don't curb rash my wheels, but that's no big deal. I mean, if I go like this, I could still see like the bottom end of the car, so that is perfect. These mirrors aren't that bad, even though they're like half the size. They're still pretty freaking amazing. Let me go ahead and show you guys. All right, so when I'm looking through the mirror, this is the angle I see. Excuse my window. You know what? Let me roll it down so I can show you guys a little bit better. So when I'm looking through the rear view, this is my view right here, and I could easily turn around or tilt my head and see the rest of it. It is pretty wide angle, so that's a good thing. And then when I park, I can just look like this, and then you can see the curb. With the other side, this is the view I have right here, and that will work. If I tilt it, I could see, I think I could actually see the blind spots with these mirrors right here, and it's pretty crazy because the other ones you weren't able to see that far out sideways, I guess you could say. But overall, I'm really happy with the mirrors and how they came out. Now let me go ahead. Oh man, this thing is dusty.
Told you guys this carbon looks so good. Look at it compared to the side pillar. The carbon looks a lot darker, has a darker tone, and it looks that much better. And once they're on the car, they do look a little bit small, but the reason being is because the car is white and the mirrors are carbon, so it doesn't really flow with the vehicle. If they were wrapped white, then of course they would flow and look that much better, but obviously I'm not wrapping them white because they are carbon fiber. And man, this thing looks so good. The carbon, when it hits the sunlight, it just pops. It's crazy. It's hard to explain. The camera doesn't pick that up as well as it should. But now the Garage Active mirrors are on, and I'm really happy with the install. So thank you guys again so much for watching. Once again, Ed Range, peace.